All right, so welcome back to the Community Game Plan, Shenanigans with Jim and Eric. I'm Eric Holman. That's Jim Smartin. Look, I got my tongue right today. The podcast where we talk about building better communities through smart decisions, local knowledge, and people making it all happen.
Yeah, we like to tie ourselves into the community and make sure we can give people the information we have access to.
Well, like we've said before, we don't know everything about everything. We know a little bit about a lot, so we surround ourselves with the experts in our community.
Yep, sure do.
So today, we do have a couple. Oh, I guess I'll take yours over here.
Hey, yeah, go ahead. Like I said, I'm just flowing.
We love this, don't we? Today, we're going to we have two powerhouse guests talking about the biggest things on everyone's minds right now. How do I afford a home, and how do I make the home more efficient and affordable to run? So first up, we're going to have Matthew Christoffi.
Nope.
No, I didn't say that right.
Nope.
It's Christoffi. Sorry,
yeah.
Matthew. I even asked you prior to this. So first up, we have Matthew from the Credit Union, also known as CUA. Here, we're going to talk about the no down payment mortgage options and energy efficiency loans. After that, we're going to have Brett Fletcher from Fasco Distribution, representing the Hisense heat pumps, to show you what those energy efficient upgrades can actually do and look like for you.
Yeah, I really think we should maybe at some point go on to what you can actually get as far as those rebates go. Because again,
yeah, I think that's definitely going to be another bigger conversation. We'll definitely get Nova Scotia Energy Efficiency involved, and maybe some of the other big wigs within how to make your homes and businesses more energy efficient.
Yeah, and that's it. I think a lot of people, what they don't realize is, for as far as footprints go, anyway, is you're spending less of a footprint to actually take a pre-existing home and make it more energy efficient than start from scratch and build all over.
Right. So today we're going to start off, we're going to start talking with Matthew and the Credit Union Atlantic. And this is actually great because this is a new collaboration for Jim and I and the real estate team. You're going to see a lot more of the Credit Union with us and us about out and about with Credit Union to help spread their word and help our clients and anybody else out there.
Yeah, and again, I think speaking for, I'm going to say both of us at this point, I honestly did not realize how much they had to offer. The fact that we're covering this one program through them, or two programs, they have a lot more on the go that we will be bringing up as time rolls on.
Yeah. All right, so up next, we'll be talking to Matthew.
Matthew, welcome to the Community Game Plan. Before we jump in, do you want to just really give us kind of why we're actually talking with the CUA, like how you guys stand out in the market and kind of tie in with the Community Game Plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So CUA is a local full-service banking institution founded in 1948, and we have 8 branches that operate within HRM, as well as a commercial center, a customer contact center, and our head office, all located right here within Halifax. And though all of our operations are within HRM, we do service members and customers all across the province of Nova Scotia. And I would say, as a banking institution that operates within the credit union system, what makes us a little bit different and differentiates us is our community focus in a lot of ways, not just in some of our efforts like the community investment grant program and our 10K a day giveaway, like things we do tangibly in the community, but also the way we conduct ourselves as a banking institution and some of the flexible products we offer to service everyday Nova Scotians.
Excellent. So let's get into the big one. I mean, we kind of been starting our collaboration with CUA and myself, Jim, the real estate team. So one of the big things that we've been talking with you guys about is your no down payment mortgage. Can you tell us exactly what that is and who it is for?
Yeah, absolutely. So our no down payment mortgage is a really unique product that we offer in the home buying market. It's something that we are able to uniquely offer as a credit union where we are provincially regulated. It is not a program that you can participate in at one of the big 5 banks, for example, because of the way they are regulated differently. What the program is if you're a home buyer looking to get into the market, but maybe have faced barriers to saving for your own down payment, payment. And those barriers can look very different. So we can discuss those a little bit. But essentially, the way it works is CUA will give you a loan to serve as the 5% down payment for you to place on your home. And then at your mortgage's closing, we'll provide you with 5% cash back on your mortgage value. And we can use that 5% cash back to then virtually pay off the loan you took for your down payment. So you're walking away at the end of the transaction with just your new mortgage, no other financial stressors like a loan on top of it. And you would have been able to get into the home buying market quicker than maybe saving for a down payment.
Yeah, no, that's a huge benefit.
Yeah, massive. How about like any misunderstandings that you've kind of run into with people when they're looking into getting the zero down payment or the no down payment mortgage?
I would say kind of the biggest misunderstanding we might run into is that there is a certain type of person that is best suited for the no down payment mortgage program. And like in your previous question, you kind of said, who is it for? And this addresses that a little bit too, because saving for a down payment, we have found at CUA and in my career as a financial professional in the banking industry for over 10 years, saving for a down payment is usually the biggest barrier to home buying for a lot of people, especially in today's economy and today's market where home prices are high, and so are day-to-day expenses, groceries, gas, utilities, all of those things. It can be difficult for even financially successful and comfortable people to save $20,000, let's say, as a 5% down payment for a $400,000 home purchase. But the no down payment program, who it's for is people who haven't had the opportunity or have faced barriers to saving for a down payment. And that looks different in every circumstance. Sometimes it might be a new university graduate who is making good income and they're excited to be in the market, but because their income is new to them, they just haven't had that opportunity to save for a down payment yet. Or maybe it's somebody who's at a later life stage who has faced some challenges or changes. They're moving from another province to be closer to their children who have moved here, or they've had a marital status change and they're kind of starting fresh. It really applies to people of all walks of life who have faced that barrier to saving for a down payment, but are looking for an opportunity to enter the market.
Nice.
Yeah. Rent's expensive.
It sure is, yeah.
Yeah, hard to save when you're doing rent.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of turn the switch here a little bit now. So our whole theme today on this podcast is a little bit about energy efficiency. So we were talking with you about the financial side of things. So one thing that we also learned from collaborating with your members of CUA is the energy efficiency loan. Could you maybe explain a little bit of how that works, how it's helping people improve their homes that they already own?
Yeah, absolutely. So CUA offers energy efficiency financing. And what that program looks like is if you are looking to make any sort of renovation or improvement to your home that improves its overall energy efficiency, that improvement qualifies for lending through this program. And what that often looks like are heat pumps and solar panels, kind of those bigger ticket items. But what's worth noting is in a similar fashion to the no down payment program, how it can apply to people of all different walks of life. The energy efficiency financing program can apply to renovations and improvements of all different scales. So let's say you have Efficiency Nova Scotia in for a home energy assessment, and they let you know that your windows and doors are leaking heat, and you would stand to improve your home energy efficiency by replacing your windows and doors. That sort of thing also falls under the home energy efficiency financing program because it's inherently improving the energy efficiency of your home.
Yeah. No, that's huge. Is there kind of any type of limits to those loans or anything like that, or is it just based if a homeowner comes to you and say, "Here's the quotes, I need to borrow some money"?
Yeah, so I mean, generally, there are basic qualifications around like credit worthiness and stuff that any institution would go through in an application.
Right.
But in terms of logistically, there's not a whole lot of barriers. Generally, the maximum energy efficiency loan we finance is about $50,000. But generally, we find for even the big ticket items like heat pumps and solar panels, that's a really comfortable maximum amount for people to operate within. Yeah. And one thing that's great about the program too, when you think about something like, maybe a major solar installation, which we do see run between $40,000 and $50,000 at times, that's a big expense. But unlike just kind of normal personal loans, which we usually the life of the loan is only allowed to be 5 years, with our energy efficiency program, we allow the life of the loan to be 10 years to make those month-to-month payments a little bit more affordable. And that applies for any level of installation, but we generally find that it's particularly beneficial for people with those bigger ticket items.
No, that's huge. You'd be able to stretch that out like that.
Well, especially since the life expectancy and such is 10 years before the updates. And
exactly.
Like as somebody with solar panels, I kind of I got a bit of back end like knowledge on that. But yeah, that's great. Thanks. Now, trying not to sound like one of those old infomercials is, what if somebody was like, "Hey Matthew, but this sounds too good to be true." Like, what would you tell that person?
Sorry, there was a little bit of overlap there. Did you say, what would I say if someone said it sounds too good to be true?
That is it,
like what would you be your one piece of advice if that's something that some came in and said to you?
Oh, that's an interesting question. If someone said that it seemed like either the no down payment mortgage program or the energy efficiency program seemed too good to be true, I would encourage them to come and meet with us and speak with one of our financial advisors to learn more about the programs, because they're both legitimate and neither one of them have any catches or tips or tricks. Like there's no fine print to worry about avoiding. As a credit union, our mission statement is helping everyday people get ahead by delivering a great banking experience. And to your point, Jim, about not sounding like an infomercial, mission statements can sometimes sound that way, but we really do put in great effort to kind of live that mission statement and those values. And a part of helping everyday people get ahead is offering flexible products that do that. So the no down payment mortgage is as explained. You get the loan, you get the cash back, you pay off the loan, you walk away with the home you're looking for. The energy efficiency program is as advertised. We offer premium rates on it that are better than our standard lending rates because we appreciate that it's going towards energy efficiency, green energy improvements to your home. We allow that 10-year amortization period for affordability. Again, like it is all just true. So it's difficult to address the too good to be true question, but if you come and talk to us about it, we'd be happy to put any concerns you might have at ease.
Well, that's wonderful. We're going to take the moment to thank you, Matthew, and dealing with our technical issues here.
Yeah, no problem at all, of course.
So again, thank you. But if you're ever thinking about buying, selling, or upgrading your home, do yourself a favor and visit cua.com and talk to one of Matthew's team members. You might be closer to making the move than you think. So again, Matthew, thank you, and thank you to the Credit Union Atlantic. We're looking forward to collaborating future with you guys all and talking more about what CUA has to offer.
Which is a lot.
Yeah,
it is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yes, thank you again, Matthew, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Now, as somebody who has their green designation anyway, I don't yet have the Korea one because it didn't exist originally.
That's this one.
I had to go through the NAR. Yeah, I had to go through NAR to get it originally, and then I had a good, exciting role with that someday maybe we can get more into. But yeah, I just find like with the green designation really ties into this. Like with us saying, hey, you don't really have to sell your home. Like you can make it what you want, or if you want the best for your buck, take the advantage. If you don't plan on selling for a couple of years anyway, take advantage of these programs and really update and upgrade your home to be as valuable to others as it is.
There's money, there's programs, there's availability out there. It's just a matter of finding the time and getting the funds.
Yeah, getting the funds. And it's, like you said, as people might be closer than they think.
They are.
For both of those.
For sure.
Just knowing where to look.
All right, so next we're going to move on, and we're going to have our next guest on is going to be Brett Fletcher. He's the VP of Sales for Fasco Distribution, who works with Hisense heat pumps. So again, we're going to take on that financing side, and now we're going to look at the actual energy efficiency products.
From the money to the actual thing.
Hisense heat pumps, one of the most accessible HVAC solutions for your home in our region. So up next, we're going to be talking with Brett.
Here's a good guy.
This episode of the Community Game Plan is proudly sponsored by, well, us, the real estate team. Because if we don't believe in what we do, who will?
That's right. Whether you're trying to buy your first home, sell the one you're tired of, or just figuring out if moving is less stressful than renovating, we've got you.
We work with local partners like CUA, Credit Union Atlantic, Fasco Distribution for Hisense Comfort, to make sure your clients aren't buying homes, they're building smarter, more efficient lifestyles, like growing up Lego, but with a mortgage.
And here's the deal. If you even... Wait a minute. And here's the deal. If you're even thinking about buying or selling, we offer free, no-pressure consulting. We do. No hard sells, no nonsense, just real talk and real advice for your situation.
Seriously, bring your questions, your spreadsheet, your Pinterest board. We've seen it all. Book your free consultations at info@movewiththeteam.ca or hit us up on the socials. Search any of us, Jim Smartin or Eric Holman or the real estate team.
The real estate team. Real people, real rules. The real estate team. Real people, real results, slightly above average jokes.
All right, so welcome. So we have Brett Fletcher on the phone. He's with Fasco, representing Hisense for our community. So welcome, Brett. Welcome to the podcast. Get you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how Fasco came to work with Hisense and bring them to Atlantic Canada.
Yeah. So right now I'm the VP of Sales with Fasco Distribution, and a bit of a startup company. It was actually, I was a contractor in the HVAC world for over a decade, and an opportunity came about for me to kind of branch off and take on a brand in Atlantic Canada, who was being represented before by another wholesaler. And so it was completely new to me to kind of be on the other side of it, the wholesaler side. Yep. And it was an opportunity that kind of was, you say too good to be true is kind of a little bit of a cliche, but it was just something of a different avenue for us. And I, some of the people that brought this opportunity to me came from the world I was already in, supporting another brand that I used to sell. And from a contractor standpoint, and it just kind of evolved from there. And after many months and lots of discussions to figure out how to do this and, how it would look like, and a lot of unknowns, to be honest. So it was I don't say scary, but it was just kind of like, how do we do this? Yeah. And I've seen and dealt with wholesalers, pretty much for over 10 years in the actual HVAC space. And we just figured it out. A lot of things were on the fly, but I know, you guys are on the fly right now. And, and it's fun. If you enjoy what you're doing, and you can take that with some of the knowledge that you have, and I want to learn something new every day. Doesn't matter what space it's in. Yeah. And when you can take that and just move on and help people, that's the opportunity just kind of sat there. I was told somebody was going to do it. And I'll never forget that phrase when somebody said, somebody's going to do this. And I'm like, well, why not? Yeah, why not me? Why not us? Yeah, exactly. So I'm an entrepreneur by blood, if you will. And I'm in that situation where I said, I don't ever, and I think about it now, I would have been disappointed in myself for not bringing this opportunity forward to my team. And if I let it go and saw somebody else going with this kind of in our market space, I would have been really upset and had some regrets. And I'm glad it evolved the way it did.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun project for sure.
Yeah. And it's a lot different from the space that I was in before, operational, sales, management of all the different aspects of being the contractor that installs the heat pumps. Now I'm selling to the contractors and supporting them and educating them to put the right pieces of equipment in people's homes. And I know that space. I can sell that space, and now it is different. But like I said, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, you talk about educating the people who are installing and stuff like that. Why not take a moment to educate us? Like
we're like you. We always want to learn something
seriously,
new.
like and homeowners as well. It's like heat pumps. Everybody hears about them. Everybody's like seeing that they're getting put in everywhere. But like, why? Why heat pumps? What's the point in it? What do they get out of putting a heat pump in, kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, you could start anywhere from rebates, just to making your home more efficient, to making your home more comfortable. When I first started this, there was only a few players in the heat pump market, and this was, and I'm not saying they were new, because there's lots of heat pumps out there. They've been different brands throughout for I can't even tell you how long, but you get into a situation where people are looking at ways to cut costs and to make their homes more efficient, like I said. But early on, and this is like the late 2013, early 2014, a lot of other companies were starting at that same time. Some were successful, some were not. And you see, different products entering the market, and nobody really knew what was going on. There wasn't the programs that were out there like there is today and just, years gone by, where the government is going to help you either finance a heat pump or give you a rebate because you're going to put it in, because you're going to either take some power off the grid, save on your power bill, whatever the case is. But making your space more comfortable, it's a big deal. Like, if people come in to a home, call it in July in Nova Scotia, and you don't have air conditioning, a lot of times people would say, well, that was a luxury back in the day. Now, if you come into a home that doesn't have air conditioning, you're like, what is going on here? Yeah. Because you're like, why don't you have AC? Yeah. But it doesn't matter where you stand, if it's a new home or whatever the case is. But you just look at it now. I would say even 3 or 4 years ago, people would, whether they had health issues, wanted to just make their home more comfortable for whatever reason, you need to have that certain level, whether it's an old window shaker or an actual full heat pump that does your entire home. It's something that now people either rely on or it's almost like a necessity. Yeah. So, and people could have mixed opinions on that, and this is just kind of my opinion, but it's you come into my home, you can keep the milk on the counter and it's fine for a few days. Some people don't like it too cold, and people know if they visit me, it's like you're bringing a sweater. Yeah. And it's not because the heat's or the AC is not on or whatever. It's darn cold in there. Yeah. And but a lot of the cases come down to now is getting people off of the oil. Yeah. Oil's a big deal. And, if you're in that space, obviously that's a dying industry, and people are electrifying, but they need a means of efficient electricity. Yeah. So, and having the heat pumps is a means to do that. And don't get me wrong, there's heat pumps that are not as efficient as others. And that's where a lot of the education part comes in, to making sure people know that they're not all the same, but in the same breath, they're not that different. Right. So, there are ones that might have a bigger name brand associated to them that, you're paying a higher price for, Is it because it's that much better, or is it because of the name?
Yeah.
So there's so many
Paying for the
different
branding.
levels. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The brand, like sometimes it's no different than a car.
Yeah.
You know, you're paying for that label. Do you get a few more features? Sure. But if you don't educate the customer on the differences and that kind of thing, sometimes people can burn a lot more money than just saving on their energy costs, you know, with their upfront costs. And that's where I like to do it. Even from being a contractor, I'm not a hard sell type of person. I would go in and literally educate.
Yeah.
I'm not for lack of better words, a car salesman type mentality.
Yeah.
I'm in there making sure that homeowner feels comfortable with me, with what I'm saying and what I'm selling, because I got to back it up. But you got to know what you're talking about when you enter that home as well.
Yeah.
So there's so many different facets of what goes on in somebody's home, and you have to really understand it, because not every home is brand new, where it's just, you know, cut and dry with how something has to be done.
Every home has its own quirks and positives and negatives. I mean, that's one thing with us on the real estate side of our lives, is that, you know, dealing with buyers, heat pumps are a priority these days. And when we walk into homes that don't have the heat pumps, that's usually a conversation as I'm walking through the house. And the other big one you mentioned as well was the converting from oil, away from oil. You know, I was out with a buyer recently, and it was an oil full ducted system, furnace system. And we talked about how that would be a lot easier to convert to a heat pump system, since the ductwork was already there. Probably cost her less than if she tried to put all the ductwork in herself later, right? So those are two big things that we have a lot of conversations nowadays with buyers and even sellers. I've had sellers say, should I put a heat pump in here before I sell it? Yeah. Well, it might probably help.
Are you paying it off before you leave?
Yeah, and some people don't realize, they're like, oh, maybe I should renovate and change the tile in my bathroom, or maybe I should put a heat pump in.
Yeah.
Well, the value of the heat pump being in your home versus changing some other cosmetic aspect, if you do a comparable, you know which one's going to win.
Your ROI is huge. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a big part about it too. Yeah. The return on investment.
So we'll kind of move things on here. So what kind of sets Hisense systems apart from other heat pumps? I know you're not here to diminish other companies and other names and stuff, but maybe tell us a little bit more about Hisense systems and what makes them so efficient.
There's a couple of different things with Hisense. It's aside from being a global company, you know, the name recognition wasn't necessarily there initially, and it hasn't been. It's always been kind of a bottom feeder name, and a lot of people represent anything that's made in China as being cheap, and that's just the way it is. You know, you look at Temu, you look at different things that are happening. Oh, it's from China, the dollar store, whatever. It's not. No. And I actually had to get bought in a little tiny bit on this on the front end of our adventure here with Fasco Distribution to be sold. I'm like, well, what's different? Don't get me wrong. Every system has its, you know, issues, and whether it's the most expensive and the best name you can think of, or the one that you think might be the bottom. But I used to have to relate a few things to people and kind of make sure they understood the name. And we're still doing that, you know, now. And the difference that we have and what I was kind of sold on, there's different features in our products that other brands have this too. And like you said, we're not diminishing any other brand here, but there are differences that people have to be educated on. And the fact that our systems, the brand that I came from, just as an example, and not everybody knows what I'm talking about, but it didn't have a drain pan heater in it. So a drain pan heater in the wintertime is what helps your outdoor system defrost more efficiently, and no ice builds up and that kind of thing. Our systems had Wi-Fi built in them. And I'm like, okay, well, that's two features that you're not paying extra cost for. And like I said, a lot of other brands have this, so it's not like new, but we're not adding things to a brand new system. So that was a plus. Nice. The support that we have and the ability to get our parts and the ability to support our contractors, because me coming from a contractor mindset, you have to have support. And I've had good and bad support from different places over my time and 10 years as a contractor, and I know what's good and bad, and I've changed our mindset to be like, we need to be particular with who we deal with, and we need to be and make sure we have the ability to support them, because you can sell a box, you can sell anything, but if you can't back it up and you can't support them, you're going backwards, and then the name is nothing.
Right.
So at the very beginning, I would be trying to tell homeowners, I'd be like, did you ever go into Costco? You see, as soon as you walk in, you see like Hisense freezers and fridges and TVs. They're everywhere. They're huge in the appliance space. They're number 2 in the world in the TV space.
Yeah.
A certain size televisions, like they're huge sponsors of the NBA and the World Cups and all these different things. Oh, it's huge. But guess what? Not everybody goes to Costco.
No.
So then you have to kind of change your, and it took me a minute to realize that somebody in, I'm just picking a place, but maybe somebody from Yarmouth doesn't drive to Halifax to go to Costco. Maybe, you might see a TV here and there and at Canadian Tire or the Brick or wherever, but they don't have that recognition between that electronic division or the appliance division to go to the HVAC division. And I'm trying to change that.
Right.
So we're launching some brand awareness campaigns and some different things just to get the name out there, because Hisense has grown so quickly in North America that you can't do everything. So you're changing products, you're adding products, you're doing a lot of different things on the back end. Well, marketing was doing very well on the appliances and electronics side. Well, there wasn't a lot there for the HVAC side. So that's kind of being left up to the individual distributor or wholesaler like me to help develop that. And they're supporting that. But a lot of it, we have to take our own direction, because what we do in Atlantic Canada for our climate, for our customers, may be slightly different than Quebec, Ontario, BC, wherever you're at, because everything's a little different. So you have to adapt to make it fit your space and your geographic region. So, and there's a few other little things, just I said the support and to be able to back up our customers. That's number one. We will not sell just to anyone. And a lot of people, wholesalers, they sell out the door to whoever comes in. A lot of other ones have protected products. We're treating it as a protected product so that we can grow it correctly. We have a good warranty, 10-year parts, up to 10 years labor. And Hisense also implemented on 95% of their products a 2-year replacement. So if anything happens with the refrigeration system in the indoor or the outdoor system, they replace it, because they have that much confidence in their product that they're not just going to be like, oh, let's find you a part. Let's try this. Let's try that.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I've done it. And it's just like, it could be anything you pick. It could be your something in your home. It could be your car. You're like, oh, well, we got to wait for a part. Yeah. I mean, nobody's going to replace a car for you because your AC goes. But this is a smaller ticket item, but it's still a big ticket item for your home.
Right.
And people need to have that reliability to make sure that they're getting looked after. And that's what we push. That's what we educate our contractors with.
Cool.
And we need the homeowners to understand that.
No, that's excellent.
We're, like Eric was telling you, we were just chatting with CUA about their energy efficiency program. Have you seen people using this program at all, like to access the heat pumps or anything like that through your training and all that?
Yeah, as a contractor, I used it in my own company.
Nice.
And I think they still do. So it's one of those things that and the thing I like about CUA is we had a rep, and they would a couple different people, perhaps, I don't know how it all worked on their end, but they would give us a couple cards. So when people call up, and this was back in the day when Nova Scotia Power financed on their on your power bill, a little bit tougher curriculum. CUA, and this may be different now, I'm just speaking from what I understood, they would take the homeowner's info and really look at the big picture, as opposed to a cut and dry kind of, nope, you don't qualify because you missed a power bill. payment or something.
Yeah.
So they would really look at the home as a whole, and they would say, well, maybe there could be another upgrade, or maybe you should insulate your home before you put in a heat pump.
Right.
There's other things to do, windows or something.
Yeah.
So I think they still do it in a similar fashion, but they really treat their homeowners or their customers in a different light, because they're not just saying just for the heat pump, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to make the home more efficient.
Yes.
And a lot of times, and I've said no to people as a contractor, basically to say, look, you've got gaps around your windows, you have no insulation in your house, you put a heat pump in, it's not going to change your power bill.
Useless.
So so really, if you have somebody like CUA that could encompass all that and really do some upgrades to your home, and they treat them on an individual basis, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, like I don't necessarily think the people need to bank at the CUA's facilities, but it's one of those things that can really look at doing things correctly and looking at the big picture.
Yeah, no, that's great. I agree 100% too with all that. From what our collaboration, our conversations with CUA as of recent, it's definitely they look out for the best interests of their clients.
So they're
their
about the
customers.
community.
Very
They don't
much.
put people in a box. They look at what they can do individually, which is cool.
Exactly.
That's kind of all of it.
I think
what
even
we're
us.
doing.
I've my real estate life. I've talked buyers out of buying a particular house because I found
'Cause it
something
was wrong.
right. So it's that's big money for me. But at the end of the day, it's what's best for my clients. So
Exactly. Yes.
So, so what are some of the mistakes or pitfalls homeowners might do or they should avoid when they're shopping for heat pumps?
One of the biggest things I think is that people think that all heat pumps offer the same thing, that all heat pump installers are good. And like I said earlier, talking about whether it's competition or whatever, there's a lot of good out there. And I will not knock something if it's good and does the right job. But I wrote something down, and it's not something I needed to write down, but it's, you could take a heat pump that is deemed to be the lowest in the market, and it doesn't even matter the name, call it Z. And you can take the best one in the market, and it's A. And you take that lowest deemed quality, whatever, efficiency heat pump, and it's installed professionally, and you take the best heat pump in the market, and it's installed poorly, not correctly,
by me,
skips, whatever, like a DIY type of situation.
Project,
You're welcome.
And that lower deemed, and I'm not saying it means it's lower quality, but if it's, kind of has that persona, then that other unit that's installed professionally and correctly is likely to last longer and work better than the one that might have been the top brand in somebody's eyes that was installed incorrectly.
That I installed above my cat door.
Installed in the wrong spot because the salesperson didn't really, listen to the homeowner or understand how the home operates, from a functionality standpoint, and things like that. And when people skip steps, the mistakes that are made, and it could be, and you could only be selling the best brand.
Yeah.
And if they take shortcuts, then things are going to happen. The lifespan of the unit is going to be less. And what I would always say, I was in thousands of homes selling, and people are like, oh, I just want to talk to so and so because he's got this brand, and they get back to you and they say the price is a little bit cheaper. But I like going last, because then you can really educate people, and they're like, well, this person said I should put it here. And, aside from price, if people would listen and you educate them correctly, and you really listen to where, how their home functions, like I said, you do the right thing for the home. And sometimes people are only driven by the dollars, and some people will understand and basically listen to the fact that you're doing the best for the entire home and the life of the product.
Yeah.
So it's just, you have to do your homework. You really have to do your homework. And you see pop-up ads online, left, right, and center, and it's just like, somebody called me the other day. It was somebody my wife works with, and they just clicked on an ad, and they got a quote. The quote was done manually, and we're in a day and age that most people don't write up quotes just with a pen and paper anymore. I'm not knocking it. That it is what it is. Some people still do this, but they didn't even have a brand of what they were selling.
Right.
So they were gonna install a 4-ton heat pump in a 2,000 square foot home, and without seeing the home or the ductwork, I already know it's 99% too big.
Yeah.
It's
that's huge.
Like something's wrong here already from the hop.
Yeah. They're gonna have the nicest house.
And he texted me for advice. He was working on the same shift as my wife, and I'm like, I see a few issues with this. I said, they didn't give you a scope of what they're doing on their electrical upgrade. They didn't even give you a brand of heat pump. They didn't talk about warranty. They didn't introduce you to some of the programs that are out there, because this particular person was on oil. They're like, you've lived in your home for over, it's a few years actually. And they didn't even offer any of that, and didn't even talk about, the brand. And sometimes that's okay, because it's not, you trust the people that are selling to you to put the right product in front of you. And some people carry more than one brand, and it is what it is. But there was nothing. It was just a couple signatures on the bottom, a dollar value. So the reason he was thankful to me in a text message, and I have many people that I could refer this particular person to, and they wouldn't have known the difference.
Right.
So just a little click online. It looked like it was going through an efficiency type program, but there's a lot of clickbait type stuff out there. And it was just, they were oblivious to what they were doing. And I've heard so many stories of things like this, and some just, as this one in particular is I can help with, and they're thankful, because you want to have somebody that will back up what they're selling. And it might not even be my brand. It's just, I care about what the homeowners get because I care about the industry, and I don't want it tarnished, and it happens. So they have to do their homework. And I'm here. I'll help anybody, point them in the right direction. Sometimes it doesn't go my way to be, purchased through one of my contractors. Yeah. But I need them to appreciate what's right first, and they will always thank me afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, let's play off that education a bit. Like, let's kind of sit you down, get into a nice imaginary world right now where I own a house, say in Bedford, a townhouse. Might even be in like the paper mill area. Let's say that. And I come across your beautiful website with all these pictures from just randomly clicking on my Facebook and doom scroll as I do. I contact you. What's your pitch? Like, how do you educate me?
My pitch right now, because I'm sitting on the other side of the fence, is I'm going to get you in touch with a contractor that I trust. Nice. First, they're going to. If I put my word on it, I need to trust who I'm putting my word out there for. Mm-hmm. That aside, if you're in hypothetical paper mill area, you may have an oil furnace. I've done some jobs in that area. I don't live far from there, where somebody just put in a furnace, an oil furnace, and it was not that old. So I have to look at the entire house, and I say, what are you looking for? Do you care about the furnace that might have cost you $4,000 or $5,000? You want to get off oil? Do you qualify for rebates? Or do you want to put an add-on coil on top of that furnace because it's not, it's got a lot of life left in it? And is that a better option? So you have to look at the big picture, and you have to make sure that you're explaining everything to the customers, because sometimes people will come into that type of home. I assume this fictitious home is oil.
It used to be, yeah. So it was actually, let's say it's on its last legs. Let's go with that one.
So you get into a situation, you want to talk about, okay, well, how does your insurance company feel about oil in your tank and this sort of thing? What's the expiry life on that?
2 years
the expiry
ago.
date on that? Yeah. So, we have a lot of info for a fictitious place. So this is really good. So, and you get into a situation where if somebody just come into your home and is like, oh, the best thing for your house is a mini split here and a mini split there, then they don't have the full bag of tricks, if you will, to be able to give you the right scenarios for your home. Because there could be several for that type of home. There could be mini splits. Maybe you still get rid of the furnace and maybe you put in some electric baseboards that you hopefully never use, but they're there for auxiliary if needed. Maybe you tear the whole thing out and put a fully ducted system in because you have the ductwork, but maybe the ductwork isn't that great for the upper level, if you will, because it's the ductwork's too small. Or you do the add-on coil and you're still using your furnace a little bit, your oil consumption's, much lower, but maybe that wasn't the right thing because you go back to replacing the whole unit because there's a bigger rebate. Yeah. So you have to understand every facet of what can happen and what's best for the homeowner, because if I went into this fictitious house and I said, let's just put a couple mini splits on the wall, you're not getting rid of your oil, and then you found out later that you could have possibly received $15,000 in funding to get rid of your oil and maybe paid very little.
We found that out
put in a whole new
That's
system.
exactly what happened.
So this fictitious place is kind of real. So it's
it's a little close to his heart,
Yeah. So when that happens, that means the education points were not delivered correctly, and either somebody come in not knowing themselves, or just only specialized in one aspect of the heating and cooling, and they just didn't understand the home fully. Mm-hmm. So that is just knowing. Usually you get a good feel for what somebody knows. It's your home. Yeah. You're in the space all the time. You get in there and you're talking to somebody and they're just in and out really quick, and they're kind of just throwing things at you that you kind of don't understand and don't take the time to educate you, then you might feel pressured. You might feel like, the system's got to fail. I got to do something. But then you didn't have enough time to explore all the different scenarios. Mm-hmm. And then something, happens to the detriment of either financial or regret, because you're like, oh, darn, this is stupid. I did this and now I still have to go back and do this.
Right.
So, and that just goes right back to education.
Or I missed out on the money from the rebates.
Yeah.
Or that. So, and that's a step-by-step process that does have to be followed in a certain manner. Otherwise, you can't go back.
So what you're saying is again, you look at each individual, kind of outcome based on the people who are living there, as if they're individual people, not a box of just this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to. And this is my old space. Don't get me wrong. I'm a wholesaler now, and I'm supporting a brand. But yeah, if my contractors, if I find that out that some of my people are just going in and throwing in 4 tons when there should be a 2.5 ton or a 3 ton, I do have to evaluate who I'm doing business with.
Yeah. Which is why you say you use people you trust to put in the brands that you're trying to get out there.
And to that point, we offer sales and technical training to help them better themselves. And it might not be because they're bad people, don't know what they're doing. It might just be because they didn't have enough education or need more info on the brand or sizing or whatever the case is. We do that now. I have a showroom. I have technical training. I offer sales training. And that way I've actually brought in a sales team from a particular contractor, a few different ones, where I will help them help their company so that when it comes to looking at a home, we even have slides and fairly specific drawings of different types of homes, and we do a little play, if you will, to say, well, what would you do here? And then we talk it out, because every home is not just a box. You might go into a home, and I'm not discriminating by any nature, but you might go into a home where it's an older couple. Yeah. And you have to understand that if they had an oil furnace and they it could be my grandparents, and they wanted an 85 in May. Well, you have to educate them on the fact that a heat pump's not going to feel like that anymore. Yeah. You got a wood burning appliance or something, and you're not going to get that same heat. So you have to understand how they live, what they expect, and really let them know. Rebates and everything aside, that's a bonus, and you don't want to leave that on the table. But you really need to make sure that you understand that when you're done there, they got what they expected.
No, That's excellent. So we're gonna wrap things up here with you, Brett. We don't want to take up too much of your family time because we know you're having fun in the rain right now. But
I'm just sitting in the vehicle. It is actually raining. It's terrible.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to learn and get some education off of you, whether they're being as a because you're more of the distributing side, if they wanted to be a new contractor for you or even a homeowner, how could they reach out?
The best way, I mean, you can call our office. It's 902-999-4822, which is 999. Actually, sorry, that's wrong. It's 902-444-4822. 999 is actually a cell number. So it's just a spin-off of the last numbers. 4822 is HVAC.
Okay.
But the best way is through email at sales@fascodistribution.com. And I get inquiries all the time. And actually, they're not just from Atlantic Canada. They're from all over North America because people just find our website. They're searching for Hisense HVAC or whatever the case is. And I point them to the best contractor in their area that I trust. Somebody that holds similar values and similar way of doing business from a, entering your home and educating and that kind of thing that I do. And unfortunately, not everybody trusts people the same way, but I have people all throughout Atlantic Canada that I can put homeowners in touch with that I trust will do the right thing for their home. They understand the rebates, they understand how to do the installations correctly, and they are a trusted HVAC contractor, and that's the direction I like. And being able to forward that off, and I will certainly answer initial questions if somebody had a few little, inquiries.
Right.
But my job is to point them to those people, and I will do that and help people every day of the week.
Right. And I'm just on your website here too, so it's fascodistribution.com, so you can always check that out there.
Yeah, and anything that's looking for the products, because that is more distributor/wholesale directed, if you will.
Yep.
You can go to hisensecomfort.com, and then you can see there's a spot for homeowners and there's a spot for professionals.
Yep.
And you can go on there and see some of the different products, and it's then that can bring up a few more questions as people are kind of looking around at the different types of products available. And it's much easier when you do your scrolling and, like you said, you're doom scrolling and get some info, sort out what direction you want to go, and then have a little short list of questions, and I will help direct anybody where they need to go to be with someone trusted.
And I have to say, you have very beautiful websites. HisenComfort.com. It's all your information is very easy to find on these sites. So definitely, if you're looking to get a heat pump in your home, go check out this as well.
Yep. No, I appreciate that, and I appreciate talking to you guys today. Despite the weather, it's, I guess, otherwise we'd just be outside enjoying it. But it is the weekend. Yeah. It is the weekend in Nova Scotia.
Well, at least we had Saturday no rain. That was a first in a long time.
I did get a lot done yesterday outside. Washed a couple vehicles, all kinds of yard work, and now today it is what it is.
All right. Well, thanks again, Brett. We'll let you go back to your family. And again, if anybody's looking for a heat pump, definitely reach out to Fasco Distribution or what was the other one? HisenComfort.com.
Yep. All right. I appreciate it. Thanks very much, guys. We'll
Take
talk
care.
soon.
All right, so thank you, Brett. So now, if you're considering a heat punch. If you're considering a heat, okay. So thank you very much, Brett. That was very educational, great conversation to have with you. So now, if you're considering a heat pump or an HVAC upgrade, head to fascodistribution.com or hisensecomfort.com to learn more about the Hisense products. But also reach out to CUA. They have that energy efficiency program that you heard about earlier in the show. They might be able to help you out to get that heat pump installed quicker and under your budget or in your budget.
I also didn't know about the fact that they could do a lot of the stuff from your energy audit.
Yes.
I did not realize. So I'm just thinking, like, take my energy audit, go into them, sit down and talk to somebody and see what I can do.
Yeah, everything helps. The more conversations you have, the more you'll learn about everything and how they all work together. That's how it's going to be the most efficient thing to do.
Efficiency with efficiency.
Well, we've been having so much fun with this so far. We thought we tried something a little different. So today is going to be our first hot take, and we're going to present it on Jim. So, a little background on this. The hot take is going to come from our wonderful bearded producers in the behind the screen here. They're going to shout out something, and Jim's going to have roughly 3 minutes to give his hot take on that topic.
I can talk.
You only got 3 minutes.
I'm good.
All right, so let's go. Our first ever hot take. Here we go.
Jim, what's your favorite Batman movie?
Oh, favorite Batman movie. Love this. So we're going to go into this, and it is definitely going to be a controversial opinion here. But I am a big Batman Forever fan. Oh, ouch. Definitely. As far as I'm a Jim Carrey fan, so let's just end that right there. He is perfect in this movie. They could not have cast a better Riddler since the
better Jim Carrey.
True, not a better Jim Carrey. Definitely the best Riddler since the Adam West Batmans, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you have that mask sound?
You end up throwing in the fact. Oh, come on, it's a great one. You throw in all the riddling this, riddle me that, who's afraid of the big black bat? Come on, it's perfect. The script is so cheesy that you just have to love it. It's like a B-rated movie, and who does not love B-rated movies? Thank you. And B-rated from a Hollywood budget? Come on. How can you not love a movie that was never meant to be made? I'm done.
Hot take done.
Batman Forever.
All right, so that was it for our show, Jim.
It was, and it was a great show, a great conversation. A lot of people who had a lot of information. Sometimes I wish we had more time.
Educational packed episode we've had so far.
Well, it's always going to be something.
Oh yeah,
it's always going to be like it was said earlier. If you like learning and you like continuing learning, and always learning one new thing a day, well, we can help you with that.
Yeah. So again, a big thank you to Matthew Christoffi from CUA.
So close.
Did I get that? Christoffery. There we go. From Credit Union Atlantic and Brett Fletcher. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak. Brett Fletcher from Fasco Distribution. These conversations are exactly what the community game plan is about, real practical steps that help people move forward. We hope you guys enjoyed. Reach out if there are ever any more questions, and if you want to become a guest, we would love to have you. Do you have anything else you want to add on that?
You know anybody who you want to be a guest who would be useful? Any information you want? Anything that's in the community that you would like to just give a shout out to? Because honestly, we could shout out anything in our commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have somebody you want to call out and just say, you know what, they're doing a good job in the community. We would be happy to mention their name as long as there's a signed document saying they will not sue us.
So, again, thank you for joining us on our show. Make sure you subscribe, review, leave us reviews where you can. Share these episodes. Share. We do share our clips on our socials, and you can get the full episodes on all major podcasts as well as YouTube. So again, I'm Eric Holman.
I'm Jim Smartin.
And this is the Community Game Plan, Shenanigans with Jim and Eric.